Well, hello, I'm Mark Vanek, Marketing Manager here at Marin Bikes. Today we're sitting in beautiful Marin County, California, enjoying the sights, about to go for a great day of riding. To the south, across the bay, we have San Francisco and the beautiful Golden Gate Bridge. Right behind me is Mount Tam, the place where it all started. There's a big connection between Marin Bikes and Mount Tam, as it's been the inspiration for a lot of our products and a lot of our designs. Marin Bikes started in 1986, and we developed a lot of our bikes from the trails that are on Mount Tam and a lot of its features. Bikes you already know of, the Indian Fire Trail, the Wolf Ridge, the East Peak, and the Mount Vision and Mount Vision Pro series, all originated and were developed from the trails we've ridden on Mount Tam. A lot of the special characteristics of these bikes were developed to meet the requirements of these trails. The Indian Fire Trail requires a lot of climbing, needs a bike that's really lightweight, very responsive. So we have the Indian Fire Trail in our lineup to tackle those types of trail conditions, versus another trail called Rocky Ridge. You're familiar with that bike? The terrain out here, really rocky, a lot of gnarly terrain. We wanted a bike that was durable and stout to handle those conditions. Again, a big inspiration for our product. We're going to go for a little ride here, so I'm going to see you in a little bit on some of the trails. But first, I'm going to hand you off to Marin founder Bod Buckley to tell you a little bit about our company. Take care.
Hi, I'm Bod Buckley. I'm the owner, founder of Marin Bikes. I wanted to tell you a little bit about how we started. In 1986, we incorporated the company here in Marin County.
Hey, we're here in Nevada at the Marin Bikes headquarters. Let's go inside and see what's going on.
It was a big adventure back then. When I started the company, I hooked up with a fellow named Joe Murray, who at the time was like the the national mountain bike champion. And he was working in the local bike shop, and he was the guy that was wrenching on my bikes. And so he and I put our heads together and decided to open a business. He was going to be my engineer, and I would be the guy to buy, import, make the business around the bikes that he engineered. That was back in, I guess, like early '85 when we started. We actually got the first samples of Marin Bikes in late '85 and started to sell them to stores in 1986. We were riding mountain bikes on the hill on Mount Tam well before that.
Now, some of you may not know this, but Marin Bikes is currently located in the old Grateful Dead recording studios, the most iconic Marin County rock band from the 60s and 70s. Let's keep going.
We came up with the names of the bikes are basically from the cities in Marin and surrounding Marin, and the trails that are on Marin, on the mountains in Marin and on the valleys. And most of the bike trails are named after existing trails that are on the map. There's a couple of trails that are not named trails, but they have interesting names. The Nail Trail Bicycle, for example, was one that it was on a trail where some people that were growing pot in the wilds put out nail strips so that cyclists that were going by their pot plantation would be deterred from going there anymore. And so we've ridden through there, and one of my friends got double flats on their bike, and that's how the name Nail Trail came to be. There was another trail, Madrone Trail, that no signpost that said Madrone Trail. It was just a trail there was a lot of madrone trees on. And so we kind of came up with that name on our own. There's a few of those in our collection. But again, we've been true to keeping the names of the bikes in the county of Marin, using the names and trails and cities and areas of Marin.
This is the Marin Bike sales office. When bike shops come and order bikes, they talk to our sales representatives here. Looks like they're busy. Let's keep going. We're about to enter our QC department for quality control. But first, a little bit of history. This is the wall that used to be behind the Grateful Dead recording studio. Along the years, various artists who have stopped by to record here have left some of their stickers. You'll see the Beatles, Janis Joplin, and some newer artists as well, such as R.E.M. A lot of history in this building. These guys make sure all of the bikes are tuned and properly inspected before they go to your local shop. Let's keep going. This is the Marin Bikes shipping department. We ship thousands of bikes out here every day to a shop near you. Let's keep going. Oh, that's cross traffic. Let's go. Let's see what the guys are working on.
Like, over the course of the last 23 years, we've built this business up a lot, expanded all over the world, and it's been really an adventure. Currently, we have about 25 people working here in the facility in Novato, California, and almost everybody in this facility and that works for us ride bikes. There's a couple of bookkeeping staff that are not cyclists, but they try. But most of our staff are cyclists, go on adventures on bicycles, and including myself, my wife. We're like still riding bikes. And a couple of years ago, we rode across Spain on mountain bikes, off-road, the whole country. And we've been some places, Moab, and just around where it's really fun, and we like this business. And today, I got 4 bikes in my garage at home. I bring most of them back when I'm not using them, but I have 4 bikes that I use for different reasons. Downhill bike, cross-country full suspension, a hardtail urban bike. I'm riding a titanium hardtail urban bike with slick tires to work every day. Not every day, but several days a week. And my wife has a little 1987 Gary Helfrich custom-made titanium bike, Marin bike, when Gary was connected with us back in '87. Mount Tam, has played a big role in this company. I guess, like they say, that mountain biking was kind of invented in the Bay Area and on Mount Tam. There's a bunch of people that claim the credit for inventing mountain biking, but it was really like a group of guys back in the late 70s, early 80s that got together and, started using derailleurs on, old paperboy bikes, so they could pedal up the hill and then come down at speed. And it's amazing what's happened with that since then, and how it's grown to be a worldwide phenomenon. It changed the face of the cycling world. And, we've been trying to change along with it. We have bikes for all categories of age categories, riding categories, from road bikes and city bikes and mountain bikes and little kids bikes. I had a boy when I started this business in 1985, 86, and he's like in one of my first catalog shots holding up the titanium bike when he's like 6 years old, because the bike only weighed 20 pounds, so he could lift it. I can just picture him in this old photograph of him in a little American flag suit, unisuit, holding up this bike. And back then it was like I made a 20-inch hardtail Hidden Canyon. That's one of our little bikes for kids. I made it for him. And so then we put it into the line. It's been in the line since 1987, 88. We've had those bikes, and we sold tens of thousands of them. Every year, we never buy enough. We're so lucky to live right here on Mount Tam, and how beautiful it is, how beautiful the trails are and the scenery around us here in the Bay Area. Anyway, I'm glad that you were able to come and visit us here in Marin, and happy to tell you a little bit about Marin mountain bikes. And I'm going to hand this over to Bernd Adomsky, who's currently at Lago de Garda. Okay, Bernd, take over. Is there anything else? Any other stories that I forgot to tell?
That was good. Yeah, that was awesome.
You know, it's so funny. The Nail Trail, you didn't go there on this trip, right? You didn't take him there?
Oh, we have to go there now.
So, you know, it's not marked. The only signpost that's there is like a signpost with a bicycle with X through it. Don't go here. And you go over this hill, and then there's a drop. And it's like this kind of a drop. And it's all dust and little rocks. And so you try to brake on it, and the tires wash out. You brake in the rear, the back tire wash out. You brake in the front tire wash out. So you really got to play with it. And then when you're going down this hill, all of a sudden there's a tree there. But the tree, the trunk is down the hill, but all the branches are growing right to the hillside. So you got to duck under the tree. You wouldn't make it. And you got to duck under the tree, and you're sliding. And then bring the bike upright. And then there's the tree. You got to go around it. And then you go off a drop, and there's like another steep drop. And then you go off a redwood tree, and there's like a 4-foot drop, and then another tree 8 feet across. That one of my girl racers was following us down the hill. We make a right. She hit the tree, broke her sternum. Right here, cracked it, out for 3 months. Don't do that. But that was on the Nail Trail. The Madrone Trail, the guy that helped me start the business, he's not a partner in the business, just was my friend, Ted Reich and I. We were on a ride on one of these trails, single track trail, back in the old days. And they didn't really want you riding on any trail, legal or not. And this trail, we got, rangers were chasing us, and we like dropped down into the bush, like alongside of the trail, and laid our bikes down, and we're laying down. We covered the bikes with leaves and us, and we're like frozen, like, you know, a commando. And these rangers are running around going, "We know you're out there," and they're trying to find us. And this is like a 50-year-old guy and a 40-year-old guy laying in the bush, covered with leaves. It was kind of like brought back childhood memories and stuff. Anyway. There have been a lot of good times on the mountain.